brothers. We're happy and we're singing and we're colored. Give me a high five.
What is going on, you guys? It's your boy Joe Castro, aka Philly Fresco, here with my brother from another. We got my guy James in here, and today we got my dog Tuck in here as well. We got Mike coming on the way. We're gonna go through all of the drafts that you guys sent in. We got, I believe, 5 for the Cowboys side and like 6 or 7 or 8 or something like that for the Eagles side. We're gonna go through. We're gonna pick some winners, give us some prizes for you guys. So we'll have fun with that. But I haven't talked to Tuck in a long time. So Tuck, how has it been? How are you doing, brother? We're gonna be able to see each other out in Kansas City. But how you been, brother?
Yeah, man, I've been good, man. I've been blessed, man. Been grinding, getting prepared for this NFL draft, man, here in my own backyard in Kansas City. So I know a lot of Chiefs fans are excited about it, and just there's a lot of prospects, honestly, that could possibly hear their name called here in Kansas City as well. So it's gonna be a fun time, man. Kansas City's going all out because last year was in Vegas, so they got to outdo their rivals, the Raiders. So it's gonna be a fun time. But Joe, we got to run the 40, man. We got to run the 40. We got to do the vertical jump while we out here, man.
Yeah, I don't know
the NFL
that.
experience.
It's slow. I'll tell you that already. It's slow. But James, what's good, dog? How you been, brother?
I'm chilling, big dog. Just waiting for this draft to hurry up and get here. I ain't gonna lie. It needs to get here like ASAP.
Yeah.
ASAP Rocky.
Yeah, it's been a long. I feel like this has been drawn out.
Dog. This is like the longest draft ever.
Yeah.
I think what really made this difficult, there wasn't any just home run. There was no free spaces. So every take, every analysis you had to really work for, because like, man, I don't know. Could it be? There's no clear cut guys. Like last year, Sauce and Hutchinson, you just tossed them 1, 2, 3, you'd be kind of good. But this year, I keep flipping and flopping, man. So it took a lot of work, but it's part of the process.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting to see what some of these drafts say, because I know I've heard, and I know all of us on mock drafts in this room, so I'm not the only one who's heard it, but I've been told all of my mock drafts are absolutely garbage. So I'm looking forward to seeing what other people can do. So start it off, man. Let's start with these.
Hey, before you go there though, the funniest thing to me is when I hear people and you do a mock draft. Oh, he ain't gonna be there. Ain't no way. He ain't gonna be there. Ain't no way he's gonna be there at 58. Ain't no way. You just shush. You don't know anything.
Right. Yeah. Especially this year. Like Tuck said, there's so many prospects that can go. I mean, we saw last year, right? The Trayvon Walker effect, who I kind of high on, not number overall to high on, but that can happen with Tyree. Yeah. So you really don't know what's going to happen. Me and Tuck go back and forth about Lucas Van Ness. That's like a weird name out there. There's a bunch of just random names out there that might get drafted. So it's going to be fun. I'm excited for it to be over, because it is one of those things that none of us know what's going to happen, and everybody's bashing everybody's opinion. But I'm excited to see who does get drafted, because then that's when you can kind of go back on your tape and say, all right, what did I really think of this guy? How does he really fit? What did they see in this guy? So it's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting. But it's going to be interesting to see some of these Cowboy drafts. So just so everybody knows how this is going to work, I'm not going to be voting on any Cowboys. I'll give my input. I'll let you guys know what I think about certain players and stuff like that. But this is your 2 Cowboys representatives. This is on Tuck. This is on James. They're going to vote on who's the best one. And I want to know what you guys are thinking in the comments as well. Let us know what y'all think. It's A, B, C, D, E, and no names attached. So nobody knows what the names are until the very end. We'll figure out. So no cheating. We're not looking out for our friends. But let's start with A. Let me make sure I pull up the right one. That's B. All right. So we got.
I submitted mine. You get mine, Joe?
Yeah, that's still in the mail. I think it's still in the mail.
Mine was pretty good. Yeah.
It's still in the mail.
That C is clean. Right.
So we got the first one. We got the first one right here. I know the
I know Tuck like this one.
Hard to read. Let me read you the trades real quick. Let me read you the trades that this one did, just so you know how they got where they got. So they traded the Dallas first for their first, the 26th pick, for Buffalo's first at number 27, and their 3rd round pick at number 91. They also traded the 31st pick. They traded all their damn picks. traded the 27th pick again to the Kansas City Chiefs for the 31st pick in the first round and the 95th pick. And they also traded their 5th round pick to the San Francisco 49ers for their 5th pick and their 6th. So that's kind of how we got where we got. So as you can see, they got Jahmyr Gibbs at their number 1 spot, Josh Downs, who I know a lot of us, like a lot, as their wide receiver in the second round. Croft, you got Julius Brents, who I actually like a lot. Dayan Henley, Jacqueline Roy, who's a really good player, and I'm not even going to try Olusegun Oluwatimi. I hope I said that close.
I'm saying for him.
Big O.
Double O. Yeah, I like that.
Double O.
So there's to talk. We'll start with the guests. What are you thinking, Tuck? How do you get this? What are some things you like, don't like? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, man, this draft is kind of. Now, I will say this, right? If you're on different sites, you might get a little bit more favorable treatment, because if you probably would try to pull this off on the PFF site, I don't think a lot of these prospects would have even been there. But, to be able to trade back, get additional value, get Jahmyr Gibbs, we know the Cowboys are really kind of focusing on the running back position, moving on from Ezekiel Elliott and also kind of having Tony Pollard as kind of your bridge guy. So that's a great value pick if you're not able to get Bijan. To get Gibbs at 31, that's extreme value. And then Josh Downs is one of my favorite wide receivers in this year's class. He's an instant impact guy. I feel like you can plug in the slot, you can do a lot of different things and become any quarterback's safety blanket. So I love that pick right there as well. The Tucker Kraft pick, it's a little early for me when it comes to Tucker Kraft, but I understand it. There's been a lot of conversation about the Dallas Cowboys in the tight end position, even though they have Hendershot and also Jake Ferguson. But I think Tucker Kraft kind of adds you a different layer as far as the wide receiver game is concerned. Love Julius Brent's size, athleticism, outside boundary corner. Dayan Henley, he's extremely wiry. He can play downhill. I dropped the film session on him a few days ago. He's an older prospect. He's like 24, 25 years old, but, he's still a phenomenal talent. So he helped solidify the linebacker room. Jacqueline Roy is a guy who was a 30 visit for the Cowboys, defensive interior, 3-tech, highly explosive, can do a lot of different things. And Big O, man, he's a center that can play guard as well, so he kind of fills that void. So I love this draft, man. I'm like, damn, at the gate. You know what I'm saying? This probably should have been the one you say the last. So, I feel like, as of right now, this kind of sets the tone. Now, here's the one drawback I would probably say is that I know a lot of Cowboys fans want to address the offensive line. Is O going to be a guy that can step in and play out the gate, or is he going to be more developmental? Me personally, I think he's going to be more developmental. I don't think he's going to be day one ready. But if you're able to kind of hold him for maybe a year or so, or maybe mid throughout the season, he can develop. But that's the only drums this draft. But I love this draft.
How you feeling, James?
To bounce off Tuck, I don't know about that last pick. I feel what he's saying on that last pick, but it's in the 7th round.
Right.
Or it's one of our last picks. I don't know if he's really, like you said, going to contribute this year. Right. Are they going to be able to keep him long term? I don't know about that. Jacqueline Roy, I like that pick, especially where he was picked at. I didn't think he'd be that far down. He definitely will add to that defensive tackle room. He can play 0. I like that. Henley is a guy that actually Tuck kind of put me onto him. I watched Tuck's video about him, so it kind of put me onto him. I didn't know too much about him until I really watched that video, and I really like what he brings to the table, especially if you're looking at 95. Now, I will say I will go with Tuck again. I don't know about the Tucker Kraft at 90. I think that's a little too early for him. Right. Julius Brents, I think he maybe could have got somebody else besides him. Josh Downs, once again, Tuck. I'm following off Tuck. Tuck been going ham in this draft, okay? I ain't go ham in the draft this year, so I'm going to just keep it real. I didn't go ham. So Josh Downs was somebody who I looked at, liked. I liked some other receivers, but once I kind of watched Tuck's video, and then also Steve Smith spoke very highly of Josh Downs, very, very highly of him. Said he could be a difference maker, and I like what he brings to the table. Now, I love Gibbs. I really, really love Gibbs, and to get him at 31, I think that'd be great value. So I agree with Tuck. You coming off the top turnbuckle, smacking folks right now. But when I looked at some other drafts in here, I think they can get with this one. And so that's why I'm going to kind of hold some reservations, because I like some other ones too. So I'm going to kind of pause on this. I'm going to say, let's see some other ones.
Right,
so
right.
Let me ask you.
Like I said, my biggest change 90, I would probably went offensive line at 90 versus Tucker Craft, and then that would probably make this the real room shaker. So I like the trades. I like the trades too. But yeah, it's just that Tucker Craft and not interested in offensive line.
Till late. We kind of need that offensive line. We kind of need that. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? We might not see him like Tuck said. We might not see, and we need to kind of tap that offensive line. We need an offensive line to kind of play this year. Right. So I wouldn't want to, go that far and think that this dude might not even play this year when you need help on that line this year. That's why I'm hesitant to kind of throw out this draft and say, "Ooh, I want this one."
Yeah. Right. So if you had to give it a number out of 5, or what would you? Where would you be?
What's 5? The worst? Or
so like 5 being the best.
5 being the best. I'm gonna give it a 2.75. That's me.
I'm not that low. I'll probably give it like a 4. I'll give it a 4.
Ooh. All right. So let's get on to the next one. Let's get to the next one. So, hey, we should be having Mike coming in here soon. I'm trying to keep an eye on both sides, but once he hops in, I'll add him on in. Now, B, no trades in this one. At least they didn't send me any trades, so I don't know what picks you guys have, to be honest. So there might be trades. You guys will probably know better than I will. But you got Darnell Wright, who is a really, really good tackle. Tuli Tualapa, Garrett Williams, Moro Ojomo, Keaton Mitchell, Mapu, and Jonah Tavai. I think people are just doing this so I try and actually pronounce these names, but Pep loves it. So how you guys feeling about this one?
Go ahead, Tuck.
Yeah, I feel like this draft's a little bit more solid across the board. So Darnell Wright is a player I think that, starting to pick up steam, especially to the Cowboys, because he's a guy that he can play tackle, but also stick him at the guard position and maybe kick Tyler Smith out. So I like that pick in the first round. Tuli, he is one of your edge setters, defensive edge rushers, and I know the Cowboys are going to take an edge rusher. Now, for me personally, I just don't feel like Tuli really gives you that that we're kind of needing. We already have a lot of youth at the edge position, and I just don't think he's really a game changer or a difference maker at this point. He's more kind of your blue collar worker. So Tuli, even though I would understand it, I'm okay with. Garrett Williams has the opportunity to be one of the in this year's class, but he's coming off ACL injury. There's a lot of uncertainty when it comes around him. So I feel like third round is a good value for him. Moro Jomo from defensive interior from Texas, your run stopper. He played next to Keandre Coburn, and he was one of the top dogs when it comes to the run game. So the Dallas Cowboys definitely improved their run defense. So I like that pick. James knows I love Keaton Mitchell out of Eastern Carolina, explosive running back, can do a lot of things, can kind of fit that mold. So if you move on from Tony Pollard in the future, you can definitely do that with Keaton Mitchell. Marty Mapu, he is a guy out of Sacramento State that he's kind of your hybrid will linebacker / safety. So he could be a guy that you could stash in house to kind of be your replacement for J-Ron Curse. I know a lot of teams are starting to pick up notice on him. I think he's met with the Ops 49ers as well, so he's their 30 visit. So I know the Cowboys, it was a 30 visit for him as well, so I like that pick. And Jonah Tavi, man, he's a good player, man. He's a guy that's a defensive interior that's a little light, but is explosive. And you're kind of looking for a 3-tech /1 in certain instances. He can kind of give you that upside, but he has a high motor, so I definitely like Jonah Tavi. So overall, if I gave the last one a 4, I like this one because it's raw. There's no trades, and Cowboys really don't get too creative with all the trades. So if I had the last one at 4,
go ahead and go low.
I feel like the one thing I would address wide receiver. I feel like that's one of the missing pieces. And I just think the Cowboys are keeping their eye at the tight end position somewhere in the draft, whether that's first round or day 2 or day 3. It really remains to be unseen. So I would probably give this one a 3 as of right now.
So coming with me,
I hate
with
saying
this,
that because 1 to 5, like 3 sounds like a horrible. So
yeah, but it's really not that bad. Yeah.
Hey, we not hating. Trust me, we not hating on your drafts. It's just what we thinking the Cowboys is going to do.
Right.
And this is why I kept the names away from it, because if I told you who that was, it might change your mind. So that's why I wanted to kind of keep this away from it. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Hey. I mean, for me, I only did 2 mock drafts this year, and I took Darnell Wright with my first pick on one of them. So I like Wright, like you say, he's been gaining steam. I watch a few videos on him. I like what he's done. I like when he played in the SEC. Played really good against Georgia, Alabama, those type of teams. I love his strength, kind of strong at the point of attack. So I like that pick. But from beyond that, if you want me to keep it totally real, Tua, he's not gonna do it. I just don't feel like he at 58, he's not gonna come in and make no work. Not my opinion. He's just regular, and I feel like he's not a Dan Quinn type guy. Not in my opinion. He's not a Dan Quinn type guy. Garrett Williams, like Tuck said, I like him, but he's coming off injury. You know what I mean? I don't like that he's coming off an ACL injury, and I think that hinders that for me. Maybe you can see something down the line for him because he is a good corner, good size, and things of that nature. But that injury kind of frustrates me at that pick. Then you go with was it Mojo?
Moro Jomo.
Mojo. I'm a Texas fan. Texas big guys in the middle don't do great. Not my opinion. So I just think sometimes they get a little bit. Sometimes I just feel like I'm a Texas. I love my Longhorns, but I think they be soft in the middle on defense. Texas has had bad defenses for a long time, and I just don't think he's gonna come in and be a difference maker. I just don't believe it. Mitchell, I love. Me and Tuck been loving him. I got one of my homies. Shout out to my dog Julius Wood. Make sure you check him out. Selfish plug for him. He's going to be a senior safety, 6'2", 205. Make sure you check him out. That's how I really found out about Mitchell. I went to a couple Woods games, and Mitchell is just nice, explosive. But he is small. But for where you picking him at, I think that's a good value pick. Beyond that, the safety, I don't think he sees the room. You got safeties all in the room. You still got Marquise Bell. I don't know if he comes in here and even smells the life of day of the field. So you know what I mean? And then your last pick, I don't know if he makes the team. I'm just keeping it real. I don't know if he makes the team. So, and there was no trades. He's your last pick. I don't know if that 7th rounder makes it. So for me, I gave 2.75 on the last one. This is 2.25.
Okay.
Woo.
Sorry, don't be mad at me. Don't say, man, big game don't
I just
know
want
nothing.
to.
That's fine.
I just want to instigate.
That's fine. I mean, you can say that. You can say
I just
big game,
want
you
to
don't know
instigate.
nothing. That's
You know what
fine.
I'm saying? I'm just here to instigate. I'm over here. Woof. Oh, not a 2.5. Oh my god. All right, we're gonna go to C.
2.25.
I have them all messed up. All right, so now we're on C. Again, you got Darnell Wright as your first round pick. I think that's a good pick. You got Keanu Benton. Another guy, Eagles fans love Keanu Benton. I know our team likes him as well. I think Bigsby.
I like Keanu Benton.
Yeah, Tank Bigsby's literally what his name is. He's literally a tank, and he's big as. And then you got Garrett Williams again. You got Aiden O'Connell, the quarterback out of Purdue, Yazir Abdullah, and Braden Willis. So they got you a tight end in there. Maybe not the guy that you guys want, but how are we feeling about this one?
Yeah, so once again, good on Darnell. Keanu Benton, he's another guy that's been linked to the Dallas Cowboys, a defensive tackle, so I can understand that pick. I'm also Tank Bigsby. I think Tank Bigsby is kind of that, the next bell cow that you can add on to kind of fill that Zeke role. So I like Tank. Garrett Williams, we already spoke about him. Aiden O'Connell, interesting pick, but I know a lot of teams are starting to pick up when it comes to him because he had a highly productive year at Purdue, a guy that can do a lot of different things. Yasser Abdullah, I love the edge rusher. He's extremely light, man, but he can get pressure. So if you're able to kind of keep him covered up in Dan Quinn's scheme, he can probably get to the quarterback. So he's going to be kind of a special teams guy, but he has a high motor. And Braden Willis, I think he was a Cowboys 30 visit. I'll have to double check that. But, just addressing the tight end position. So I like this draft, to be honest with you. I mean, the one thing I would probably say is maybe Tank went a little too early. And then also maybe with O'Connell. But overall, I don't feel like it's... Yeah, I would like this one. Hold on. I think because like Darnell Wright, that cancels out with the last one, so that's a match. And then we're trying to think what was the last pick. Who do they have at the second pick?
The last one.
For the last one, the second pick was the edge guy from USC.
Tuli Tuilapatu.
Or Tuli. Okay, so I like Bitten over Tuli, and then I like Tank over Williams. So they still got Williams, Moro Jomo. Yeah, so I am going to lean with C. And so what I said, the first one was a 4. I'll get it's like a 4.1.
Ooh,
4.1. So I got this one
okay,
kind of in the lead as of right now.
okay.
I'm gonna bounce off Tuck on this one. I like this one. I like this draft. I like this before the prior two. Number one, because you still got right, like you said, you got your offensive lineman right, and then you came with Benton. I love Benton. I absolutely love Benton. I think he can come in. I think he can play right away. He's very aggressive, good hands, and he attacks that ball. One thing I want from the defensive tackle position is pass rushing ability, not just somebody who can stop the run, somebody who can put pressure, push that middle of the pocket, and get after the quarterback. That's what I want, and I think that's what Benton brings. Agreeing with Tuck, maybe Tank went a little too high, but he's a bell cow guy, and that's what the Cowboys like. He's like the Shady McCoy with those cuts, man. He'll cut your face off of them cuts. Doesn't have super elite speed, but he's strong. Cut on a dime. I love that. So I like that pick. Garrett Williams, I here. You get what I'm saying? I like him have him at the 129. Like you said, I've been seeing Aiden O'Connell mocked in drafts with the Cowboys around this same spot. So I would like this and Yasir, and then you still got your tight end. I'm feeling good about this one. If you Dallas draft, I wouldn't be mad at all. So I'm gonna be with Tuck. I'm gonna give this a 3.85.
Damn.
Yeah.
You
The only
the
slight
Russian
change
judge.
I would try to, I would try to sprinkle maybe a wide receiver, in there somewhere. But I like this draft. I like this draft compared to the last.
So far
Yeah,
this
you
is
see this last one you keep for.
this is the highest one.
I like this one that's getting ready to come up, Tuck. If he posts
Yeah,
this one,
I can
if he
see the
posts this one,
flash.
I'm gonna ask because I'm gonna bounce off Tuck on this one because I want to get his opinion because this one I
Yeah.
kind of like on here.
Yeah, I got some questions. I can see the flash. I was there, so I'm saying.
All right, so this is D. You got Darnell Wright again, Zach Charbonnet
This
in
is
the
the one right
second
here.
round, Mingo in the third round, which that might not even close to happening as much as people are talking about him as of late. Jacqueline Roy again, Payne Duran, who I've heard some. I actually am interested to hear your take on Payne Duran because, like James has said, you went hard on this draft. So I've heard some guys say that he's their favorite in this draft. So I kind of want to know what you're thinking. And then you got the edge, Valami, and then you got Daryl Luter out of South Alabama. So how are we feeling about D? So far, C is the highest rated one. So now the new
So
bar.
again, you see Darnell Wright. So you see Darnell Wright, which I definitely understand. Zach Charbonnet, I think he was a 30. I think he just visited with the Cowboys either yesterday or today or something like that. So that's picking up steam. He's more the bigger bruiser in this year's class as far as running backs are concerned. There's a lot of scat back guys. He's a guy that he's not going to run away from you, but he's going to run through you. So I like that kind of idea. Jonathan Migos shooting up a lot of people's boards, so you address the wide receiver position there. Give us kind of a safety blanket if something was to happen with Michael Gallup, which you can pretty much say it probably is.
Right.
Jake Roy, once again, we met with him. Now, Payne Durham. So Payne Durham played with Aiden O'Connell. So highly productive kid that can do a lot of different things. He's more of a balanced type of wide receiver, but he can block a little bit. He's not the best blocker, but he can give you a little bit more in the blocking game. So he's more kind of your dual guy versus like a Dalton Kincaid, who's really like a wild. I like Payne Durham. The one thing I would say about it is like when it comes to tight end for the Cowboys, it's like Darnell Washington, Michael Mayer, and Dalton Kincaid. After that, how much separation are you getting from what we already have in place? So you can't convince me that Payne Durham is better than what we already have.
Right.
And so would he even make the roster? You don't know. Because Sean McKean ain't going nowhere. I doubt Hendershot and Ferguson's going anywhere. So, that's something to consider. Villamai Fiocco. So he's kind of like that same mold of what Tully is from USC. He's kind of, he's your Hawaiian edge setter. He's going to come out there and do his job, big physical. The Dallas Cowboys did meet with him for a 30 visit, so I'm good there. And Darrell Luther Jr., cornerback out of South Alabama. So I got to watch him last year when I was watching, what's his name? The Brick. I don't call him a Brick. Sorry about that. Tolbert. So a guy that can come in and play. Now he'll more than likely be a special teamer as of right now, but he definitely has some upside. So I like this one a lot, to be honest with you, because I feel like you address a lot of the Cowboys' needs, including wide receiver, which I felt like was the last missing piece for the last draft. So I'm gonna go 4.2 with this one, even though
Really, Tuck? You
Yeah.
going 4.2 with
I
this
mean,
one?
because
Come on. You
I mean,
just said that tight end. He ain't special, Tuck, and he may not make the squad. He might not make the squad, Tuck.
but what I'm saying is you got the first four.
You like Mingo? Do you really think Mingo will be able to do something though for real, big dog? Because he's just coming in and wasn't nobody talking about him like that. Now all of a sudden he's like the darling. Is he really that guy that could come in at that pick and really?
I mean, in the third round. I mean, that's later than what we took Tolbert. You see what I'm saying? So it's like,
Didn't we take Tolbert in the third?
We took Tolbert at 88.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's like, I feel like getting Mingo at that value. I mean, it's a guy you can stack.
Do you think he's developmental though? Will he see the field like that?
I feel like once Michael Gallup goes down, I feel like Jonathan Mingo could easily come in there and beat Tolbert and Simi Fioco.
Okay, well, I don't think Simi Fioco's gonna make the team.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like, so it's like outside of that, like if Gallup was to go down, then you're just going out there with Cooks and CeeDee. So who's really going to be your quote unquote fourth wide receiver? And I feel like if you put Jonathan Mingo, Tolbert, and Simi in a kind of ring and let them fight it out, I think Mingo's going to come out the guy ahead. So that's why I'm okay with that. And then Roy. So they're really looking at the first four is what I like about this draft. Fioco, Durham probably won't make it. Luther would be a stretch to make it, but I think you're coming out with four key guys. That's why I'm gonna lean towards this one because of the wide receiver versus what C just did.
I got you. Well, for me, I'm gonna go 3.5. My grade on this one, a step below, because like you said, I don't think the cornerback makes the team, in my opinion. I don't know if he makes the team or if he even contributes. You got the cornerback room right now, and guys, you want. I want a cornerback that's going to come in and even though, you got the Stephen Gilmore, he's a rental probably. You still want to see another young cornerback come in and compete, with Deron Bland and Izzy Mukamu, and then we still need to see what Wright and even Kelvin Joseph. So I think that's an uphill battle for him at that low of a pick. So I don't know about him. Vilma Fehoko, like you said, I think he's a special teams guy, be a real try-hard guy. I like how he explodes off the edge. So I think that's great value for right there. A tight end, I don't know. If we're going to get a tight end and they talking about he need to contribute, I don't even think he smells anything if he even makes squad, like you said, Tuck, because you got Fergie, you got Hendershot, and McEwen. I don't know and he's regular. How is he going to come in and do anything? So I just cancel him out. I like Roy. As we said before, Jonathan Mingo, he don't Tuck on this one, but I still have my doubts with that at the third pick. I want to see, is he really going to come in? And I know he's big, he's strong, got good frame, but speed, well, I don't know. Zach, I like Zach. Kind of a pretty boy, though.
Right.
Okay. But he's a pretty boy now, but he's a bell cow guy. Like, you can give him 20 carries in the game, but I'm kind of scared of the UCLA guys. I'm sorry, at 58. Darnell Wright, I love it. So for me, I'm gonna say a 3.5 because you got Wright, Cabernet, and Roy, but I'm still a little suspect on Mingo, but he is a receiver, so that's why I push it up. Right. But right now, C is still the one for me.
Right.
Shout out to my guy Philly Mike in the building. What's going on, Mike? How you doing, brother?
What's up, Philly Mike?
I'm hanging in there. My bad.
Oh, you're good. You missed all the Cowboys ones, so you came at the perfect time.
No, we got one more. Oh Lord, here we go. We got one more. This is the one I want to see what Tuck says on this last one because this one I kind of like.
So far, C is still in the lead. And this is your final one. Not C. We just did C. Hold on. So this is the final one. This one had one trade that they hated. They moved their 26th pick and a first round next year to move all the way up to number 11 and take Peter Skoronski. Then you got Dayon Henley. Then you got Tank Bigsby, Anthony Johnson Jr., Corey Trice, Obi Trice, Broderick Martin, and Aubrey Miller out of Jackson State. How y'all feeling about this?
Talk to me, Tuck, on this one.
This win now mode, man.
That's what I'm saying. I gotta like this one. That's why I said this is the one I kind of like.
Yeah,
I want Tuck to talk to me on this one.
Yeah, I like this one, man. This is shake the room, man. This is back when Joe's gonna hear me back there in the media room screaming like, what's going on? Yeah, man. Because I feel like, and I talked about this with you, Joe, on Twitter, man. It's like I don't understand from the Eagles fans' perspective, like why are people out on Peter Skoronski? Like I feel like he's one of the top 5 prospects in this year. If the Cowboys were able to magically move up and get him, you absolutely could do that, because if you make this type of draft alongside what we already did and in free agency, that first round pick next year going to be 29, 30. Who really cares about it? So I love the thought process, moving up from 26 to 11 to go get Peter. Phenomenal guy, can play left guard, right guard, can even play tackle. I feel like he's going to be a future all-pro caliber player. Deion Henley, we already spoke about him. I feel like this is where you're going to have to get him versus the other draft. I think we got him like in the 4th or something. I just don't see that happening. So good value, adding depth to the linebacker room. Tank Bigsby, already spoke about him. Anthony Johnson Jr., even though the Cowboys have a lot of quality safeties already in-house with J-Ron Curse and Hooker and Donovan Wilson, like, we're going to have to make some changes possibly next year with the safeties, and Anthony Johnson's one of the top coverage corners in this year's class, so he's a guy that can do a lot of different things. So I like Johnson. Corey Trice, big physical cornerback, has some dog in him with arm size. He's everything that the Cowboys like, so I love that pick as well. Big Broderick Martin, big physical guy that can play 3 tech and 1 tech as well, so you got your size and interior. And then Aubrey Miller Jr., I know a lot of people don't watch HBCU players, but out of Jackson State, that's Law's guy, you know what I'm saying? Out of Jackson State,
I like him.
With prime time, he's a very high caliber guy. He'll probably start off, maybe on special teams, but he definitely has the talent to eventually make the roster and maybe be like a rotational guy. So, I mean, hands down, this is a home run. I kept seeing you post this when I was like, is that an Eagles draft or Cowboys draft? I was like, hold on. So I like this one. I like the aggressiveness. I like the picks. It handled the needs. I mean, the one knock I would probably say is maybe could have grabbed a wide receiver, maybe instead of the safety. But for the most part, this is probably like a 4.8 in my book.
I'm feeling Tuck on this one. This is one of my favorite, personally. This one out of all of them, I was like, ooh, I like this one. I want to send this one to Tuck. I want to see what Tuck says about this one. Said getting Peter. If we were to get Peter right here, dog, like he's like the safest value pick for you too. Right. Northwestern too, smart. You like that type of stuff. And I love that pick. And then like Tuck said, you probably won't get Henley, and we probably gonna be gone with that speed and size and speed ratio. He's not probably gonna last to the 4th round. So just like we did with Sam Williams, where we picked him in the 2nd, where you probably had him mocked him maybe 3rd or 4th, but you knew because after he had that really good combine, he was not gonna last that long. So you had to go ahead and scoop him now. So I think this is what you have with Henley, big tank right there. We already talked about him. Obi Trice, Corey Trice, whatever you want to call him. I like that big physical corner. He's a big guy. He's physical. A few people told me about him, turned me on to him. I was like, oh, I like him, especially if you get him at that value. Right. And then I love that linebacker pick from Jackson State at that pick right there. I think that's great. I think he has a chance, just like you got Devin Harper last year late, and he's going to look like he may contribute this year. I think that can happen with him. I really love this draft. This is the top one for me. So for me, I'm going with this one. C would be 2nd, but this is my one. As soon as I seen this one, I said, I already know who I'm picking.
Yeah, it's a wrap. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is a wrap. This is a hell of a draft.
Like Tuck said, I would have liked to get a receiver, but here's the thing. Dallas is great in the after draft. So maybe we could scoop a receiver, sneaky receiver in undrafted waters, because Will McClay and them are so good with that. Maybe somebody falls out of favor with that, and maybe we could scoop a sneaky receiver, or maybe free agents, at that draft, after the draft. But for me, this is the one I would go with.
And to be all honest with you, I know a lot of Cowboys fans have talked about moving the draft. There's only a few people I would consider. I haven't had this conversation because I don't expect him to fall outside the top 10. But if Peter Skoronski was to fall outside of Philly, which I wouldn't, I don't know why y'all would do that. But if he was to slide outside of y'all, I would be all in for moving up to go get this kid, because he got your future left guard or right guard or tackle of the future. And I pretty much can close my eyes and guarantee he's probably gonna at least be an all-pro. Like I just see it in Peter. He just does everything phenomenal. So
with it. The way that you guys have it, I just want to. So it seems like this ran away. Shout out to Cole's Cowboys. Cole's Cowboys, the one that made this one. So he's won for the Cowboy side. So I'll reach out to him and let him know we got to give him a prize. Yeah. But no, it's just to kind of break it down on how you guys.
All the people are gonna get a prize.
Cole's Cowboy got to win it. But no, so just so you guys know, you guys picked Cole's Cowboys as the first one. You said C would be second. That was Shane Carter. And then DMV Fanatic is the lowest ranked one.
Oh, DMV gonna kill me.
That's why I said. That's why I said.
Don't
if
kill
you
me,
knew who
DMV.
it was, you
You
probably
the
would have
man.
changed it.
You the man. You the man, DMV. Don't you kill me, dog. Don't hate me. Don't hate me.
Man, that's trash, man. What the hell is that?
I kind of want to. I think one of my mouse could have banged with this. I could have won a prize for real.
Could have. That's why I took away the names. I was like, let's see what they say without knowing who it is. So shout out to Cole's Cowboys. He wins.
Shout out to you, Coles.
So now let's do the Eagles, man. That kind of worked out perfectly. Now we got my guy Mike on here. We're gonna go through all these mock drafts.
You came in perfect, Mike.
He came in perfect timing, literally perfect timing.
Middle of the movie, man. We get a middle of the movie.
That's what Eagles do. Eagles fans, we not always on time, but what was it? What was it?
What time I gotta be on?
What was it? I forget what it is. But anyways, we're always on time. Somehow.
I know what I'm trying to say. I know what you mean. Though. I know what you. I know the last part of it too, but I can't remember. But I'm there.
I can't remember it. So I know it was a Ja Rule song, but either way. So I'm gonna put the mock drafts up. We have A through H, so we have like 2 or 3 more than them. But we're just gonna basically go through all of them, Mike, and we're gonna give like a out of 5. So whether it's 3 out of 5, 2.5, whatever it is that you feel out of 5, and we're gonna go from there. Whoever has the highest average between the both of us, that will then be the winners. This should be fun. I haven't really looked at a lot of them, if I'm being 100% honest. So I'm kind of new to these two. I kind of just screenshotted them and kept going. But hold on, let me find a. Y'all getting like a whole. Y'all get to see all of them before. Okay, I guess I could have just went backwards. All right, Mike. So can you see them? It's on YouTube side, and I know I sent them to you as well. So you got.
I can pull them up that you sent me.
Yeah, we're just going A through G. A through G.
All right. A through G. All right, I got you. Go ahead.
All right. So we start off with A, and I think it's going to be a kind of a trend. You're going to see a lot of trades. We went ahead and traded our number 10 pick and apparently our second round pick next year to move up to 6 and to get their third round pick at 81. We went ahead and took Jalen Carter at number 6, Nolan Smith at number 30, Nathaniel Dell at number 62, which now maybe isn't. But anyways, Jamie Robinson at safety, number 81, Dwayne McBride, Dor Thompson Robinson, and Jake Witt. You're the guest, so we'll let you start off. How do you feel about this, Mike?
I like this. I think it shows guts, and I actually listening to Howie Roseman's just speech before I came on here when I was picking up my wife and stuff. He made a joke and nobody laughed at his joke, but he was like, next year we got 12 picks, but after this draft, we might only have 2. like joking around. There's some shoots and ladders, go back, move up, some aggressive type stuff that we know Howie Roseman's like to do. Jalen Carter is a guy that I can only wish the Eagles can draft. I'm with you guys on Peter Skoronski. I know the fans won't like it. I think that's a Eagles type pick too, just to talk about that since the Cowboys were talking about getting them. And then y'all saying it looked like an Eagles draft. But Jalen Carter right there, it's hard to beat that through my eyes. I love that pick right there. Moving up to 6 is probably the most realistic to get him. I still think Seattle at 5, hopefully he skips there. But going up in front of the Bears and the Falcons, guys who can use offensive line and defensive line, that makes sense. Nolan Smith is my guy. If he would be there at 30, I think that'd be an absolute steal. I think he's going to go in the teens, early 20s. Just started watching Tank Dell. I didn't really do no wide receiver tape at all this offseason because I didn't expect to take one. But Tank Dell, I like his game for sure. Jamie Robinson, not too familiar with. I know he plays physical, the little bit I've seen about him. Safety. Could always use that. I think our room is not as weak as it was a couple weeks ago. Dwayne McBride, some patience in his running back style. Typical size, like he's like 210, 5'11". And then I do like the backup quarterback because Mariana's probably going to be a 1-year type thing. And Dorial, Thompson, Robinson kind of can mirror, at least athleticism-wise, what Jalen Hurts do. And I've just started listening to the stuff about Jake Witt. He got that Jordan Mailata, I guess, aura in him where he's just big, physical, and we just hope that he goes to Stoutland University and gets an A+. So I'm liking this one. I'm giving this one I think it's kind of realistic. Nolan Smith, the Tank Dell stuff is kind of weird. Again, drafts are drafts. Who knows where they're going to be? Nobody expecting the Kobe Dean to be in the 3rd. I'm giving this one, you said out of 5, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to give this one a solid 4.
We starting off good. So both sides start off pretty strong because I do think this is a pretty strong draft. I think if you want Jalen Carter and you're willing to, move your 2nd round pick next year, we have 2 of them next year. So it's not like a death sentence. Obviously, you still have that pick next year. You're getting a 3rd round pick in this year, which is pretty valuable for us. I know we want to get some more day 2 picks. Jalen Carter is Jalen Carter. I don't think I have to explain to anybody, if Jalen Carter is good or not. So, yeah, that's a great pick. I'm not mad at that at all. I do agree with Tuck as well. I think Peter Skoronski is a very, very solid option for us if he's to fall. I will say this, though. I think one of them will fall. I think that if Peter Skoronski isn't there at 10, I think Jalen Carter or one of these defensive interior, no, not interior, but one of these defensive linemen will be. I don't think Tyree, Will Anderson, Miles, Jalen, I don't all going to go and Peter Skoronski. I think either you're going to have a couple offensive linemen go off, or you're going to have a bunch of defense. So I think if you wait at 10, you will see someone fall to you. But I'm not mad at this. I'm not mad at all moving up and getting Jalen Carter. Nolan Smith, I'm not mad. I like Nolan Smith. I'm not as high as a lot of people on Nolan Smith, if I'm being 100% honest. A lot of people are seeing he is very good. Don't get me wrong. And I think 30 is a good spot for him. I just get nervous when people taking him at 10. I like him. I just don't think that's what we need right now. But either way, I like it. I like the pick. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
The only thing that would scare me off of Nolan Smith is just back-to-back injuries. I think that, I probably wouldn't do it at 10, but I'm a big proponent is if we end up moving back to 15, 16 at any of these trades, I'm liking them around that area. Yeah. And it's not just the combine. It's just the combine mirroring just the ridiculous speed and ability to stop the run for that frame is just, does it translate to stopping the run in the NFL? We have to see, but I think he's quick as all can be.
Yeah, he's athletic, and he definitely is. So I don't hate where it's at. Like I said, 30 is a beautiful spot. I would like Tank Dell. I don't know how necessary that is now to have 2 5'8" wide receivers on the roster, but a couple of days ago, that probably would have been a lot more of a realistic option for the Eagles. I think now that you got the guy from Atlanta, I'm not even going to try and say his name right now, but you got the old boy from Atlanta. I think that this
Oz.
Yeah, there we go.
Why not call him Oz? OZ.
I'll take that. That's easy enough. So now that you got Oz, man, I'm cool with this. I don't think that you necessarily need to go with this type of wide receiver. Jamie Robinson, I'm actually pretty high on. I like him a lot coming out of FSU. There's I
know y'all are. I should never put that in out there, man.
Honestly, the only him is because my other boy. My boy, I didn't even realize he had the FSU hat on.
For y'all, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'll say. So Jamie Robinson, I like him. I've liked him for a while. My boy is a big FSU fan. Dwayne McBride, didn't he have 8 fumbles over his career or something like that? He's a little bit worrisome, but I think he is a very, very good runner. Obviously, if you can fix that, beautiful. Dorian Thompson-Robinson, I think, is the perfect backup for the Eagles. Jake Witt, like you said, just athleticism, big. What can you make of him? He's just, and you hope that our team could mold him. What would I give this? I would give this like a 3.5. I think a 3.5. I do like Jalen Carter. I do like Nolan Smith. I don't necessarily like Nathaniel Dell anymore. Jamie Robinson, I like. Dwayne McBride isn't terrible, but the 3rd round I would have liked else was there because there might have been some other guys I liked. And then the last 2 picks, you can't be mad at those 7th-round picks. So I'm at 3.5. I'm going to be the Russian judge on this, and I'm going to go 3.5. 3.5 is still pretty high.
Philadelphia Bulldogs, huh? Philadelphia Bulldogs.
That's what it's gonna be. That's what it's gonna be.
Davis,
I like that
Bean.
quarterback though. I actually had that quarterback in one of my mocks, and that'd be a great pick, especially at
Yeah.
that value.
He's a beast, bro, and
Yes.
he's smart. You know, I got to talk to him at the combine.
Gadget.
Yeah, and he's a smart person like that, and he's a grown man. Like when I talked to him at the combine, because he went back to school, and I asked him why he went back to school, and he said it was because of those. He wanted to learn how to manage his money, how to be an adult with his money. And I know that has nothing to do with football, but that has everything to do with you as a person. You know what I'm saying? And I trust the person like that wants to be the adult. And I like him a lot. I really do. Now, some of these, like I said, there are going to be some trades that I don't necessarily think that we're going to be doing all this. Yeah, I don't think we're going to be doing. But I'll give it, we'll give it the time of day. So Bijan Robinson at number 17, BJ Ojulari at number 49, Antonio Johnson, who I do like, at 53, Cody Mach, who I'm a big fan of, at 62, Gervin Dexter, who's not going to be at 64, at 64. Jordan, well, he might be, who knows? Jordan Battle at 94, Garrett Williams at Marvion Overshawn at 143, Ventrell Miller at 210, Dante Demas Jr. at 219, and O'Shawn Mathis. Now, I would say that I dock a couple points just because it's not realistic, in my opinion.
Right.
But I do like the players. I do like the players. What do you think, Mike?
He did a whole mock, man.
This is a whole first round mock.
Which even mock website is this one from?
I think this is like the database or something like that. I don't even have the trades with it. So
he had to copy and paste two links.
I'm trying to follow the 17, 49, 53. Like there's so many picks that's not ours. Like there's like so many picks.
Yeah, it's kind of not realistic on this one.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough to really give it a good grade. It just feels like it's not going to happen.
Some ski mask alley stuff for real, man. He pulled this off, man.
And here's the thing, though. The crazy, he's trying to say we got our two future safeties in Antonio Johnson and Jordan Battle.
Yeah, we got our new starters.
We drafted our both safeties for the future while getting Bijan for this year. And Ojulari's interesting at 49. You know, I like him coming off the edge, but like I said, this is a lot, and I don't even really know, to be honest. I'm not even going to front some of these 210, 219 guys he got, to be honest. So it's a lot of picks. It's a lot to bring in.
I would throw out a number quickly, and I would say I'm going to give this like a 2.5. I just don't think it's realistic. I'm sorry. And the way that you doubled up, like two linebackers, we have two E's. I just don't think it's that realistic, if I'm being honest. I'm going to give it a 2.5 respectfully.
Yeah, I don't really see. I'm a co-sign at 2.5 for the simple fact that I thought it was just wild that we went and drafted both John Hightower and Quez Watkins back to back that 1 year wide receiver, but it's different. Like safeties back to or two safeties, two linebackers. That's crazy uncommon in the same draft. And again, to go from 6 to 1, 2, 3, 4, 12 again, it's wild. Hey, listen, it was fun. It definitely was fun making it, though. I bet.
Yeah, I'm sure he had a blast. He had a blast, and that's all this says. That's all this is about. It's just having, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, respectfully, it's not. We're trying to be fair. I don't want to say, he got all the players, so go ahead and let him win. I don't think it's, you know what I'm saying?
We got to keep it a little real.
Exactly.
Keep it real goes wrong.
I'm like, what stopped him from trading up and going and get picks 8 and 7 too?
He should have just had 1 through 10 at that point. He should have just had picks 1 through 10 at that point. Shout out to the people that made it easy for me to screenshot too. I just wanted, some people made these the most difficult things in the world to screenshot. I'll just go over the names that we haven't already talked about a little bit. I'll start from the bottom, I guess. Charlie Thomas. Don't know too much about him out of Georgia Tech. I'm not going to lie. Tywin Mullen. I like the kid. I'm not going to lie. Again, when you get into the 7th round, these are guys that you're just like, you find a little something about them and you're like, maybe we can make something out of that. And Tywin Mullen has some characteristics that you will look at him and you say, all right, maybe we can make something out of that. I don't think he'll be a starter, but in the 7th round, what are you going to really find?
Jordan Mailata.
Say his name. Yeah, very true.
Once in a while.
Tom Brady, I guess, but no, Israel dog. I know that a lot of people love him off of his pro day, but he's a good runner. He's a very, very good runner. And at 94, I think that's pretty decent value, especially if you're not trading or anything. Maybe you can get him a little bit lower, but at 94, he's there. I'm not mad at that. Sidney Brown, we talked to his brother. When I talked to his brother at the combine, his brother kind of was rude to me. I ain't gonna lie, but either way, it would be interesting to see if Sidney and Chase, came to the Eagles. Sidney Brown is one of the guys that I like. I like Jair Brown. I like Sidney Brown. I like Jamie Robinson. There's probably like 5 safeties in this class, and I really actually like Sidney Brown being one of them. BJ Ojulari, I do like him. I like him a lot. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know if I would go. This is those situations I have to see the board, because if he was one of your top guys, maybe you could talk me into him. But I think he's more of a second round guy. Maybe that's nitpicking. But if I had to grade, I would say for not trading, I'll give it like a 3. 3 out of 5.
I knew you were gonna do 3.
I give it a 3 out of 5.
3 out of 5. Yeah. Again, the fact that Jalen Carter drops, if that's happening, that just makes me excited hearing it right there.
Thanks.
If that would happen. So I do like that pick. I think that is automatically what the Eagles do. The card doesn't take but 2 seconds to be called if Jalen Carter falls that far. But BJ Ojulari, I know he got, and I do like ties, having brothers and stuff in the NFL. I don't think it just fully makes you a real one, but I do think that, NFL blood does run close. We've seen it time and time again. I like his quickness off the edge, his bend. Not the biggest guy, but I think, he's going to be able to be productive in a system, especially a system like the Eagles, because no pass rusher is going to have to do it every single down that comes to us, because we got 16.5 sack Reddick who's staying over there. You got Josh Sweat, double-digit sacks. You still got BG, like fine wine. He's not going to be here for the foreseeable future, just for the immediate future. So this guy can come in and just, learn and play when he's asked to. So I like that. Sidney Brown, I think, at one time I had him as high as Brian Branch, but then I had to re-look at Brian Branch. I'm really high on Brian Branch. So Sidney Brown will be my second favorite safety in this draft. I like his explosiveness and quickness. I think he's more of a zone safety, but, same scheme as Jonathan Gannon, different concepts, but we ran a lot of zones. So maybe he does fit. Maybe he starts over a guy like Reed Blankenship, who we have high expectations for, but, sample size small. Played 10 games, started 4, like what we see. Got to see more. Israel, I started watching more of him because a lot of the people, when I started talking about Zach Charbonnet, they said, why talk about him when you can talk about Israel? And I can't say his last name. They put me on the Virginia Tech game when he ran for like 300 plus, you know what I mean? And we just going crazy on them. And so I still wanted to do more. Again, I did slack a little bit more on watching these prospects, maybe because I was down in the gloom with my channel for the whole middle March to April. But I do like this. And I'm not going to act like I know too much about Twain Mullen or Charlie Thompson. If any of y'all want to give me any of the Cowboy guys know a little bit about them, you want to tell me a little bit before I give this grade?
Nope.
He said nope.
Go ahead and give it a low one.
Now, I would say, man, I did a video on my channel on Israel Banaconda, man, and he's lights out, like you said, Mike, man. He's 6 touchdowns for 300 yards, and he's a great combination of speed and power, can run in between the tackles, and he kind of has that Philly toughness. So he fits y'all mold, man, because he's from Brooklyn. So this is a really
Charlie
good.
Thomas ain't bad at linebacker at that pick.
Yeah, Charlie
he's
Thomas,
a good linebacker.
Yeah, see, I don't know much about him.
Yeah, and Charlie Thomas and also Tywan Mullen, man. Tywan Mullen's a good corner, and he gives you some flexibility to play inside and also outside as well. So if I'm just looking at this from an outside lens, this feels like a very realistic draft for the Eagles.
Yeah.
I could see this really happening because
is Charlie more of a run stopping linebacker? What would you say? Is he more of a coverage? I'm not saying he can't do. I'm not saying he couldn't do both, but if you had to describe his game, because that's the guy I'm curious to see. Because
he's not. He's going to be more like your weak side linebacker.
Weak side.
Yeah, so your weak side linebacker. He can kind of run sideline to sideline. He's not going to be your Mike prototypical. So run stuffer. I mean, he can. He's willing, but that's not really his game. So. Yeah, and Sidney Brown. Yeah, this is a realistic draft. Like if I had to like bet money on how the Eagles would draft, I would probably consider something like this. Like because probably maybe go offensive line, maybe.
Yeah, that's the only thing I'm thinking.
I don't know if they go. I don't know if the Eagles would get BJ that early though.
Yeah, I mean, because not doubling up with Carter then BJ. That's the only thing I would probably be like.
The funny thing is, BJ Ojulari. So you guys probably remember when that like clip of Howie Roseman trying to pound another person in the draft room, and he got all mad or whatever. The old dude got all mad. It was because of this guy's brother, I believe, Azeez Ojulari, how we wanted to draft. Yeah. So it would be kind of ironic if the Eagles went ahead and got him to kind of make that guy happy. Right. I think he's gone by now, but yeah, either way. So yeah, well, I gave it a 3. I wouldn't be mad at it. I just think that I don't really love the BJ pick, to be 100% honest. And we'll see. I'm not a hater on it, but I think 3 is a fair grade for me.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 3.5 on that one. Back-to-back defensive line. I wouldn't put it past Howie Roseman, especially with the defensive line. Not saying we need it as much this year because of bringing Fletch and BG back, but O-line, D-line, we build for the future and the now, and so I think that could make sense going back to back. A couple, mocks I've seen with back to back, and the only reason I believe that could be possible is because it's Howie Roseman. But I'll go 3.5 on that.
But some people saying it's a 1. Like, damn, don't be so damn mean, bro. They watching. I
mean, Jalen Carter fell to 10, and again, as much as I don't know if it's going to happen anymore, because I kind of talked myself into it when all the narratives were out about, his testing bad and he's not seeing nobody outside the top 10. And, but now I'm thinking like, it's Jalen Carter. We're a week from the draft. It's Jalen Carter. He's going to go before 10, but I would love that. That's also what puts that draft up for me.
I tried to slide him in the draft.
I had to find.
They trying. I mean, listen. I want to. I mean, I wouldn't mind if one more story came out in like 3 days. Just one more. Not anything crazy. I mean, just once he get to Philly, we can clear that all up. Just like we cleared up Kobe Dean's shoulder. He A-okay.
I got a mask for him.
A-okay.
It's 420. You know what I'm saying? It's 20. I got a mask for him if he needed. But anyway, so
Larry Tunsil style.
You know what I'm saying? If he needed, I got you, dog. I got you. So we got D here. This is a pretty good one too as well. They didn't send me the trades. I guess they just want me to guess. But Bijan Robinson, they obviously traded down from number 10, took Bijan Robinson, which might not happen. Apparently, Tampa Bay Buccaneers and us are the only meetings he's had, like formal meetings. So we'll see if that even happens. But Bijan Robinson, Nolan Smith at 30, which I think that's realistic. I think that's more of where, not saying that he'll drop there, but that's more of where I feel comfortable taking him. Steve Avila, who I know the Cowboys love, but I like Steve. Probably to me, he's one of the better just pure guards in this draft. I think that there's some tackles that might be able to slide into guard and be a little bit better than him, and maybe that's a rude thing to say, but I do think that. But Steve Avila, if you're looking for like a pure guard, pure interior offensive lineman, I think he's one of the better ones. Jordan Battle, I mean, I really don't love the safeties in this class. I'm going to be 100% honest. He's good, though. He's not bad at all. Matthew Bergeron out of Canada. I think he's from Canada. Shout out to him. I know he met with us early in the process. It'll be interesting. He dropped to 94. I think the Eagles would definitely be in on a guy like him. I don't know if they'd be in on both. That's the only thing. I don't know if they would go with Steve Avila and Matt Bergeron. But they could. They definitely could. Dante Demas out of Maryland. I'm not mad at it. Again, once you get down to the 7th round, you're kind of taking guys with a lot of traits. That Demas isn't bad. Cameron McDonald, though, I've talked to Tuck about Cameron McDonald. I don't think he's great, but I don't know. He just popped out at me a little bit when I was watching him. So I don't miss at all. I like this one. Bijan, I know a lot of people will be excited about that. I don't feel like we really moved the needle here out of Bijan and maybe a Nolan Smith. I think the defense still is probably like, what about me? So I'm going to probably go. I do like this one better than the other ones. I want to keep that in mind. I'll say a 3.2.
3.2?
That's how I'll go.
Yeah, I mean, if you get Bijan at 19, so I guess we got the 82nd pick, which is new. So I'm thinking he ain't just get the 82nd pick.
Maybe a next year
plus
pick.
19. he probably had to get a next year pick. So is it a second? Is it a first? That all depends on this draft, which is going to hurt you if you don't got that to, you know, make me feel a little bit better about it. That being said, Bijan will be cool there. I think, you know, anybody who doesn't want him at 10 will feel more comfortable taking him there. No one spent that 30. Intrigues me. I would love that to happen. If he's on the board at 30, I am going to be clamoring for that. Again, depending on what we did, if we just went defensive line at, you know, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, or 19 in this one, moving back, probably won't. My fandom will be clamoring for him, but it won't be realistic. Steve, the guard at TCU, I like him. He's quick off the line for sure. He's not as fluent as Kelsey in the second level, but he can get to the second level better than a couple others. I don't know too much else under that. I only seen him a little bit at TCU's because, you know, I don't know why, but one of my boys is a big Quentin Johnson fan. You know, he's telling me he's going to be, you know, legit, and he's telling me this is the real TCU wide receiver for the simple fact that, you know, Jalen Reagor will forever haunt us. And he's not in our division or nothing. He's a Bolts fan, you know what I mean? But he likes him big time, and he's telling me he's going to be a steal for whoever gets him. Jordan Battle, I don't really like his man-to-man coverage, and he's an inconsistent tackler. The stuff I love about Brian Branch, I have concerns with Jordan Battle, but I would say he's, you know, 3 or 4 when it comes to safeties. As you said, I agree the safety class ain't as big. That's why I also think Brian Branch, you know, is going to go sooner rather than later, because anybody needed a safety. I think there's a drop-off after Brian Branch. Matthew Berg, how you say his name?
Bergeron.
Yeah, Matt Bergeron.
I don't really know too much. I started to because anytime I did a mock draft, I always found myself taking him around 94 too. So I wanted to start looking that up, but I'm not gonna lie to y'all and say I did. So I'm not really sure.
He's good. He's good.
Not number 94 out. I'm gonna take y'all word for it with the wide receiver. Again, these mocks were done before we picked up Oz, so it hurts. I think that if we did go wide receiver, it would be late, like we do. Throw a gem out there, see if we can get somebody to stick, because we got the main core of wide receivers in the building. But I don't think that it's a priority. And the Cameron McDonald's, a lot of the people on my channel talked me into if we end up getting some picks in the mid-round to get a tight end, for the simple fact that a lot of people don't believe in Calcaterra. You know, Stahl is more of a blocking guy, and, you know, when Goddard did go down, we saw, you know, by game 3 it picked up a little bit, but the first 2 games, penalties, lack of being able to be useful at anything, and we paid the price. So a tight end wouldn't surprise me for sure, especially that late in the draft. You're talking about, you know, our last pick.
Yeah, Cameron McDonald's probably not the guy I want, but he's interesting. He definitely is interesting.
I'll give this one like I'm giving a lot of high ones, you know what I mean? I started out with 4, so it's kind of hard, you know what I mean? Yeah. I'll give this I don't know what the trade back was, so I'm gonna give this one 2.5, just because I don't know what you got. You move back to 19, you better have got something good. That's 9 spots.
Right. Yeah, that's a lot of spots.
I mean, you finished, your end result was Bijan, which if you were happy at getting him at 10, you're definitely at 19, but what did you get? I don't know, and so, sorry, sir, or ma'am.
Yeah. We're going to see. I feel like I'm going to get a lot of hate mail after this, but it is what it is. I still love y'all.
Yeah, I ain't going to be able to collab with you for a little bit, Joe. Yeah. After this.
Right? They ain't going to want you back on here. Where's the E? All right, E. All right. Another one. This guy just a whole bunch of trades. So we moved from 10 to 20. And again, they didn't send me the trade, so I don't know what the trades were. So they went from 10 to 23, took Peter Ski. If that happens, that would be... Anyways.
Which one are we on?
E. This is number E. Yeah, this is letter
Them
E.
boys can switch the settings up, put it on all rookie.
Bro, they can some of these.
He just changed.
Some of
you
these
got to
are
take
crazy.
2 screenshots to get this even to fit.
That's what I'm saying.
Back and got Peter Skoronsky at 23. Come on, Phil.
So they got Peter Skoronsky. I mean, yeah, this is just so. All right, but anyways, they got Peter Skoronsky. They got Adeboire at 31. Marvin Mims, who I do like, and I think people have kind of stopped talking about him, but I do like him at wide receiver a lot. And we met him early in the process as well. And Joseph, another guy that I like at the safety position. Dartavius Martin. I wouldn't mind him. I would have really liked was there, especially if Peter Skoronski's all the way at 23. I would love to see who's available at cornerback at number 94. Demarion Overshawn is not a bad pick at all. Sean Tucker is an interesting guy. I think he's one of the running backs that we did meet with. I like a lot. There's a lot of running backs. I think he kind of falls into that group. Like it goes, for me at least, it goes like Bijan, Jahmyr Gibbs, maybe you could say like a Zach Charbonnet mixed with maybe somebody else. And then there's like a group of people that I like, and I think he's in that group. Andre, I don't know about out of Princeton, to be honest. Shaka Hayward, good linebacker. Carl Brooks is somebody I like a lot. I mean, this just feels unrealistic, though. And that's what kind of ruins it for me. I'm not going to lie. I like the players, though. I mean, if you can walk out of there with Skoronski, Adebawore, Marvin Mims, I mean, the first 4 picks are amazing. So, and then Carl Brooks, I like him a lot. DeMar Ovon, I like him a lot. But again, you got 2 linebackers. That's not really that realistic. What else did you got? You got a defensive tackle. You got an edge. I mean, I'm not mad at it. I would probably give this like a 2.9 just because it's not realistic. But
right.
I thought we had to stay consistent with the 0.5 grading skills. So it's like 2, 2.5.
Just making numbers at this point. Yeah. I'm just making up numbers.
I did 2.15. So you good?
Exactly. He said like 2.638. So you know what I'm saying?
2.672.
And listen, again, maybe we should have got Gate City on for the Eagles side because, like I said, I did real limited. And even in my draft tape watching, really didn't get past the 3rd round, at all, if that, And it was really credited to the subscribers for throwing guys out to make me even go look a little bit. So I really slacked off big time this year. But, I only got to worry about the 6 guys the Eagles have eventually.
I mean, realistically, you're not going to worry about 15 players going to the Eagles. So, I mean, a lot of these aren't going to realistically happen. I mean, it is what it is. Realistically,
when it's all said and done, I'm going to do my study on the 6 we get, if we get all 6.
You're doing a lot of studying for a whole lot of other teams, man. That's what happened, man. In the draft season happened, I'm getting like Chargers fans, Bears fans in my comment.
That's it.
All this work.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah. If you just think, if you do, just say you do, and you do 15 to 25, 30 draft prospects. Maybe the Cowboys draft 2 or 3 of them. Right. The other, 22, they're when the Las Vegas Raiders get this guy, they're like, what they type in his film study, it's going to come up a Cowboys fan, but they're going to still watch it because they're going to know.
I'm going to change the title from why the Cowboys should draft to, what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I
just
didn't want him. I even want
change it. Yeah, once they don't get drafted to the Cowboys, take Cowboys out, but still say, if you say underrated linebacker in the NFL, just do that. Yeah. But leave it in the NFL. You know what I mean? They'll go off.
Las Vegas Raiders got to steal.
So I don't know. I think we both around what would you say number wise?
I co-sign yours. I like the indifferent 2.9.
Yeah, because it's like it's a little bit at the players, but it's just not realistic to me. We got a couple more, and then we go B. So far, the first one is still our favorite.
Dude say Joey used this wrong mock. He sent like 8, man. He sent 8.
Right, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't want me to do this. Some of these people sent me like 10 different mock drafts. Like, you want me to just pick one that would win? Like, that much not much I could do. I just took the first one I saw and kept it pushing, bro. Like,
well, odds are, if you guess one out of theirs, then they're already one step up.
Exactly. Yeah, they try to play me, and it's funny because I literally said, and I love all you guys. I'm not talking junk, but I said on the thing, I was like, DM them to me, and I got so many like on the comments, or they eat like whatever it was, like. So I had to go from different apps and stuff to find everybody. So I tried. It is what it is. But this one's a good one right here. I ain't mad at this one. This one's only 3 rounds. I guess they just said
which one are we on?
Their picks. This one is F.
F.
Okay.
So he ain't want to pay for PFF, but he ain't want to use any of the other ones. So I respect it. It is what it is. So he went ahead and traded down to go get my guy Kalijah Cansey. So he gets a point for that. The trade was they gave up number 10, got number 21, a second rounder, and a second rounder next year. I probably need more than that if I'm being 100% honest. Move down 11 picks. I probably need that. Maybe I'm being greedy, but I probably do. And then he went ahead and traded up to go to 24 and get Bijan Robinson. He gave up the number 30 and a 4th round pick next year. And then we got Tuilapatu, we got Nathaniel Dow, and we got Christopher Smith. I like Kalijah Cansey. I like Bijan. I like the picks. I like the players. I just don't like how you got there. I think we didn't get enough for that 10 pick, if I'm being honest. To move all the way to 21, I don't really like that. And then, I mean, I'm not too mad about moving up for Bijan. I think that, but other than that, I don't really like moving what you got to move down. I do love Kalijah. That's pretty easy to tell. We talked about Tuilapatu a lot, but yeah, that's a decent pick right there. Maybe a little bit too high in it as well. Nathaniel Dell, I wouldn't take him in the second, even if we needed a wide receiver, if I'm being honest. And then Christopher Smith isn't bad. I do like him as safety, but again, I think that's a little bit too high. I think there's a couple reaches. I disagree with PFF. PFF has good grades on here, but I kind of think there's a couple reaches on here personally. I do like the players in Bijan and Kalijah. I just don't necessarily like how you got to Kalijah. So, I mean, I like it better than the last one. It's a little bit more realistic. So I'll give it like a 3.2. I'll give it a 3.2. I'm obsessed with giving points, like 0.1 and points. I like it now. It's too much fun.
Yeah. Joe, let me ask you a quick question because you're a Penn State guy. Speaking of safety, what's your thoughts on Jair Brown? Because he's the most confusing prospect for me.
I like Jair. I think that he's not how do I say this? I think he's versatile. I don't think that he's one of those guys that's going to go in and make a huge impact off rip. I think that there is going to be a little bit of a learning curve for him. But I think he's got good size. He's decent in coverage. He's good. He's got good movement. It's tough that Penn State defense as a whole, I think, was very up and down. So it's like individually they also had that. So there was definitely some games that you watch him and he just kind of looks like he was not really supposed to be on the field, if that makes sense. Sometimes It's like, what are you doing?
But then you watch this, then in some games you watch him, he's like God body. So
it's weird. I think it has to do with that team. I think that defense was just so up and down last year that it kind of went through to the players as well. Because I mean, there are some other guys on there, like I'm blanking on his name, but defensive tackle Mustafa, I think it is. He's pretty decent too. Like, I mean, we got some good players. It's just They were so all over the place. So I think it's safe to say that he is good. He has the talent. He's just been very inconsistent. But he's a guy that can move a little bit all over the field. I like him a lot. I think the Eagles never get Penn State players, so I'll be happy to get him. But it's one of those things, probably like fourth. Like late third, fourth round. I think that's fair for him. But I do like him. Yeah, this one I'll give a 3.2. How you feeling, Big Mike?
Yeah, looking at it, I like Kalijah and Bijan Robinson. It's kind of indifferent in a lot of people of how they got him, where we went back for. He said we got we get what do we trade? I can't. So we get the Chargers first round. We gave them a 10 to get 21 and 54th. That's how we got the edge rush out of USC. And a second round pick for 2024. So he got us getting 3 second round picks in 2024 because we already got the Saints and ours. Some decent trading, still building for the future. Why stop at 12 picks next year? Let's go to 13, 14 picks next year. You know what I mean? As it pertains to Tuli T, I can't say his name. We got a guy with the same last name on the Eagles already. Can't say his name. He's an inside guy, but watching him a little bit, I know he got a pretty good first step. He's quick, does a lot of things well, but he's what I would call a tweener, not as quick as you want him to be on the edge, and he's not as big and physically strong to be in the middle. So more of a situational guy, I think. Tank Dell, and then Christopher Smith, a guy that I watched a little bit, and not the most athletic. His measurables didn't really hit at the combine or anything like that, But I think he does everything. He's like a solid player in the sense of he doesn't, he's pretty physical against the run. He gets caught on a couple blocks because he's only 5'11". But I think he's one of the guys who does everything a little well. Nothing stands out. But when you play with Georgia, I mean, you're going to be looked at. You got a lot of guys who flying around you. I think there's been a lot of players, whether it's in college or the NFL, who look good one year because of the surrounding supporting cast. But again, that's at pick 100 or 94. Yeah, he only did the 3-round mock draft. I like it. It's different. You get for the future. I'll give this a 3. I'll give it a 3.5.
I respect that. Shout out to Argo in the comments, man, because this man is apparently GM of the year. Every draft that has gone up would never happen. That would never happen. Chill out, Trigger Trey. Chill out, Trigger Trey. We all having fun, bro. Get your panties out of a button. Mad as hell in the comments.
I remember starting.
That would hurt the Cowboys, though. I mean, I don't think like y'all, but it would hurt like if the Bijan did go at 24, like 2 picks in front of them.
People would be mad.
I've been hearing the rumors now. I heard about Todd McShay saying the Cowboys are obsessed with him, and I wouldn't be shocked if the Cowboys moved up for Bijan. I mean, that's Todd McShay. He stays everything on surface. These guys like McShay and Kuiper. Last time I did a Kuiper video, I said Mel Gibson on accident. The comment section was crazy. I said Mel Gibson. And someone said this. Oh, yeah, I said Mel Gibson says we might take Jahmyr Gibbs. He was like, we can always use a lethal weapon. You know what I mean? No pun intended. But it was some funny comments.
You gotta win.
Yeah, they guys say so surface level. They hear something, they kind of run with it. They got to cover all 32 teams and everybody in the draft. But I want to know from y'all, too, like what before we go to the next one, how big is the obsession or not obsession for a possible Bijan for you guys? Like
it's not as much as people think it is.
Yeah, it's not
just for the media.
like that.
Because to be honest with you, like even if I like play around and mock Bijan to the Cowboys, like I get so many pissed off Cowboys fans in my comments. So it's just like
at 26 or like moving up a little.
At 26, like
oh dang,
we don't need a running back. We don't need a running back. So I feel like if he got in range like 24, I feel like the Cowboys would sit up in the chair a little bit just to kind of entertain it. But I don't think we shooting up to 11 or something to go get no Bijan Robinson. That's crazy now.
Yeah,
Peter Skoransky, that's a different conversation. Like I'm shooting all the way up. Like there's like 2 players I would shoot up for. That would be Pete and also Jalen Carter. But you also got to understand, from Jerry being a salesman, Bijan Robinson is going to sell jerseys like crazy if he does come to Dallas. But I just don't see it just from a pure perspective of if Bijan is 1A. And if you get Jahmyr Gibbs in the second round, did you really miss out on that much? You might have missed out on some of it, but you ain't missed out on that much. So I don't think it's real. It's just kind of something to do while there's nothing to do right now.
I think that's I think that's like an overall. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying. I just think it's one of those things where it sounds good in the media.
Right.
It's a feel-good story. Texas, Dallas. It's just something to talk about. But I don't think the Cowboys are just like, oh, we got to get Bijan Robinson. We just got no, they don't. Because just like you said, is the gap that wide between Gibbs and these other backs? Is it that wide with Bijan with these other guys? Now, I ain't taking nothing away from Bijan, but do I really say is that gap that big? And are the Cowboys really saying the gap is that big that we're going to go out there and move up and do something like that? I don't think so. And I think there's a plethora of running backs here, so I don't know about that one.
And plus, what people got to understand is with the new Mike McCarthy regime, the Cowboys are very close to the chest when it comes to draft. Because we didn't see the Micah Parsons thing kind of coming out because they would have never said it. There was zero interest, and then they traded with y'all and ended up getting Micah. Then last year with Tyler Smith, it was like the day of the draft. It's like the Cowboys are interested in Tyler Smith. So, they kind of throw a lot of dust out there. I think the Michael Mayer and the tight end thing is kind of being used as a shield as well. When you might sit back thinking, oh, damn, the Cowboys is going here all this entire time. They just throwing out those smoke screens. So,
all right, so we got 2 more to go. And we're going to try and
I know, man. Y'all got the longest draft ever, dog.
Yeah, no, we're going to try and run through these because I got to actually go to a show where my girlfriend's dad's birthday, so I got to get out of here. But so we got Bijan, Kalijah Kancey. See, the people got the memo on Kalijah Kancey. I give an extra point for Kancey.
Right.
Bijan Robinson, Kancey, Cody Mach, Christopher Smith again, Jalen Cropper, and Marshawn Ford. I love Cody Munch. I think that would be a huge pickup. Marshawn Ford is another guy, kind of like Cameron McDonald. He is intriguing. Like, he is definitely intriguing. He's got some athleticism to him. I just don't know if he'll do anything on this team. And you have already a guy like a Calcaterra. You got a guy like Jack Stoll, who are both good at different things. I think that Marshawn Ford comes in and he's just another guy different, good at something different. So I don't know if it really gives you, but it is what it is. J-Lo Moreno, I honestly don't know too much about Cropper, so I didn't see him at the combine or anything, so I've really done my homework on him, but I get the wide receiver pick. Everybody wants to do that. I like the first 3 picks here. I think the first 3 picks are dope. Cody Munch, I don't know if 62 is a reach for him. He might go in the first round just because of his versatility, to be 100% honest. But I like all these picks. I do. I give this a 3.3. I give this a 3.3. I really am the Russian judge, and I like it. I like being
Right.
So I'm gonna give this a 3.3.
Yeah, I'm gonna go right around there. I like the picks. I mean, I'm not a fully Bijan at 10. My whole take on Bijan is I don't believe it's gonna happen until it happens. And I've let everybody know if it happens, I ain't gonna be mad because can't wait to play Madden with him. You know what I mean? It's gonna be fun. And we do if we're talking about the 2023 season, I think we're good in the trenches in certain places. Now the future's different, but for 2023, yeah, we gonna be more firepower add more wood to the fire. It's bigger, stronger. But I think this is a solid 3 point. I'm gonna stay even, so I'll go 3.5. Just based off what it could do. I like Elijah Canty too. I was surprised when I saw you tweet the other day that he didn't visit nobody. I was like Mr. Lonely. That's the first thing that came to my song, Akon Lonely. Yeah, so I'll give this a 3.5.
All right. Now the last one. I know you guys probably been waiting to hear that.
Y'all know y'all can't take Bijan, because if y'all take Bijan, y'all gotta give Tuck his credit for that, right?
I don't want Bijan at 5. I wouldn't mind Bijan. I would not mind Bijan at all. But at 10, I don't know, man.
I think it makes perfect sense for y'all. That's why I said
so I wouldn't be surprised.
We're in the lose. Yo, check this out. If we draft him at 10, the half the Philadelphia fans that really were happy about him, they're going to be going crazy. That's when the national media is going to come back around and change it. Like, yeah, they definitely reached on Bijan, right? If we don't take him, the national media is going to be like,
how could you pass?
They're going to be okay, but then the Philly fans are going to be pissed.
Yeah,
half of it, at least 60%.
Like an offensive guard over Bijan Robinson.
Yeah. Now, if Peter Scarante gets called, they're going to be real.
Oh, they're going to be pissed.
I mean, like I said,
pissed.
I don't. So why is that? Why?
Because he picks. That's what it is. It's not like it's not like media. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't think Mike would be upset. I don't think, a lot of our content creators, I think that people that know Skoronski is and know how this team is kind of built wouldn't be upset. But the fan base is definitely going to be like, oh, Bijan, we need Bijan. I mean, I get it. Bijan's a great player. I'm not going to sit here and hate on Bijan. But this one is probably my favorite. I was just looking at it. It off the rip, this is probably my favorite. Silas, you got, if he falls to 10, I know there's a lot of talk that he might go top 10. If he falls to 10, you got yourself a cornerback of the future. If something got to happen to one of your old ass cornerbacks, no offense to them, you got a guy that can go in there and start right away. Kalijah Kinsey, I'm not going to even go. You know what I feel about Kalijah. Jahmyr Gibbs is your best option, your next best option. I think that if you are in a position second round that he's there, it's a no-brainer. I mean, the Eagles took Miles Sanders in the second round. Taking a Jahmyr Gibbs, I think, is the end
of the second round too.
Yeah, I think this is even better than taking a Miles. Like, you're getting a guy that can be a slot receiver for you day one, realistically. And then you get Henry Toto or Tioto. I don't know how to say his name, but I love that pick. Spencer Anderson. I like that pick. I'm at the combine. He's another guy. He plays center, but I feel like he could guard. I don't think he's played guard. I don't know if he has, but I did ask him at the combine if he felt like move along the line, and he said that he felt like he could. So Spencer is a guy that I would love. Jose Ramirez, I have no idea who he is, but my girlfriend's father's name is Jose, and it's his birthday today. So you get an extra point for that. Yeah. So I like this one. This is probably my favorite one mainly because of those first, to be honest with you. I'll give this like a 3 point. What's the highest I've given so far? I've given it 3.5 so far. I'm gonna give this. I gave a 4 to somebody. No, I gave 3.5 was the highest.
I gave a 4 in the first one. The trade up to Jalen Carter, I gave a 4.
I'm gonna give this one a 4. I like this one a lot. I really do. I really do.
If Jahmyr Gibbs is sitting here at the end of the second round, like because 62, that's like, yeah, that's not the last pick. It's the second to last pick, right?
That means Dallas passed on him in the second round, which would be idiotic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Twice.
That's the one thing that says to me, yes, that highlights this draft for me. But I do again, and who am I to say? I would have never thought Nakobe Dean would have been as far as he did. But again, you only see that every once in a while, let alone Jahmyr Gibbs dropping that far. I wouldn't mind if the Eagles shocked everybody and went one of these cornerbacks. For the same things you said, everybody says number 10 got to start right now. I guess, but bookend corners are hard to come by.
Facts.
And when you don't have them, you feel it. If it's a passing league, the only way to stop the pass is the edge rushers or pass rushing and their corners. As much as your linebackers and your safeties play a role in it, corners and edge rushers are valuable. That's what makes the quarterback uncomfortable, and that's what takes the ball away from the quarterback if the pass ain't precise. So I like that.
I want to say this. Hold on. Before you say it, Mike, I want to put pressure on this. If you go higher than a 3.5, this one wins. So I just want you to know that. If you go higher than a 3.5, this is the winner.
This is the one, I think.
So first of all, you shouldn't have put the pressure on me. You're not a person who's
the pressure. The person who watched it is looking at it like, go ahead, Mike. Go ahead. Give me a 3.7. 3.75. Come on, bro. 3.75.
So he said if I give anything higher than 3.5, which I really was going to, I was going to say 3.7.
Ooh.
Give us 3.75, Mike.
And listen, my 4-piece was the very first one. I like the trade up for Jalen Carter. It would be interesting, and it's something I think Howie would do, and I think we like Jalen Carter enough to do it. And I forgot the other picks on it. That was my 4, but again, Jahmyr Gibbs falling to 62. I mean, listen, it's not this guy's fault. He was happy when he got this one, and he screenshot and sent it. When he did it, this is the draft network. Sometimes the draft network be crazy. I'm surprised somebody ain't send you one with their trading Buda Baker to us.
Somebody did, but I was like, bro, I'm not taking this one. They traded like the 7th round pick for Buda Baker. I was like, bro, this ain't happening, bro. Give me a better one.
That ain't real. Come on, not real.
Yeah. But
so shout out to number was a friend of ours, Josh Davis from the Philly Special. So he came close. I was kind of rooting for a content creator to win this one, but he came close. Ended up being Nick Palmer. So my guy Nick Palmer is going to be the one that wins this one. So shout out to him.
So wait, Joshua Davis was the one who did the first one that I gave a 4, right? Oh Lord. I like that one.
Hopefully y'all got a show together soon.
Yeah.
His was real realistic too, though. But listen, shout out. Hey, he's lucky that Jahmyr Gibbs in the middle of the end of the second round just put it over the top, whether it's gonna happen or not. It
was
I
point
gave him 3 points.
2 off. It was literally point. And for the Cowboys, just to make feel better,
Josh
right?
Watching?
I don't know. He probably is. I think he retweeted it and said he couldn't wait. So hopefully he's not sad. We love you, bro. But the lowest rated one for the Cowboys, DMV Fanatic. So they took a shot at their own content creator too. So that's why I didn't put no names, because I knew that
Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
That means the next.
Don't be messy. Don't be messy.
The next time you on the final word, y'all, it's gonna be a little awkward when y'all get on the final word.
We're gonna be doing it tonight, I think.
Oh God! But I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all, man.
That was big game.
We just gonna delete the video after we do
it.
This was fun. So I'm out to Cole's Cowboys, one for the Cowboys side, and I'll reach out to Nick Palmer and we'll you guys set up. I think Jan is doing I forget what Jan is doing. I think they're doing a draft or something like that. So, well, I appreciate everybody that put in their mock draft. this was a lot of fun. It was good talking to you, Tuck. It was good talking to you, Mike. It's been far too long for all of us to just get together and chop it up. Of fun, man. Yeah, and I'll see you in Kansas City, Tuck. I'll see you in Kansas City. We'll be watching Thundercat.
Yeah, that's gonna be dope. Hey, shout out to both of you guys though, for real, for real. Make sure that make that happen. You got a Cowboys content creator, one of the best out there. My dog Joe out, one of the best out there doing their thing. It's gonna get some really good content. So I'm excited to see both of y'all together, Philly and Cowboys, so we can get the excitement from both sides. I'm really excited. So shout out to both of y'all. Make sure you have a safe trip, Joe, and both of y'all be safe out there in them streets. You feel me?
Yeah, cosign all that. It should be interesting, especially if somebody's draft is extra better than the other ones. You know what I mean? It should be fun. It should be fun with y'all too. But safe trips, and you know, we only got 6 picks. Let's make them count.
Yeah. Well, not if one of our fans end up being a GM, but we'll have like by the end of the night.
42 picks, dude.
We'll be picking the whole first round, so have it our way. But I appreciate you guys, man. I'm excited for this draft. I know Tuck is probably as well too, and it'd be nice to meet Tuck, honestly, to be real, because we talk so much junk back and forth on the internet. It's gonna be to sit down and have a drink and just chop it up. So, but no, I appreciate everybody that tuned in, man. But I do have to get out of here. I gotta before I get beat up by my girlfriend. But I'll tell y'all soon.
Yeah, you get the draft canceled, man.
Exactly. Yeah, I need to make sure I make it to the draft. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, y'all know it, man. I am Joe. That's my brother James, and we are the best of enemies. Peace.
We're brothers. We're happy and we're singing and we're colored. Give me a heart.